Hello guys, it's Katie and welcome back to another video on my vlog channel. So it has been a while since I have posted on this vlog channel. There's a lot of reasons, but today's video is definitely not what I expected to be the first video back on this channel, but here we are. And you can see by the title that had a pretty scary medical thing happen. And I have all kinds of paperwork here that I can't really show you because it has my full name, where I live, my doctor's office, all that kind of stuff on here. But I just have it so I know the proper names to tell you guys and things like that. But this is still an ongoing thing as of filming this video. I'm currently filming this video at 9:42 p.m. on May the 4th. Wednesday. I'm not exactly sure when I'm posting it. I'm kind of hoping to post it tomorrow or maybe Friday, but it might also be this weekend. I don't know, which I'll get into everything that's happening. But first off, just why I haven't been on this channel. The main thing that's been happening is we got new flooring, which looks awesome. I can insert some pictures on the screen for you guys. Beforehand, it was just a really basic tan carpet like everywhere, and everywhere in our house that's not tiled. So the kitchen and the bathrooms are the only places that are tiled. Everywhere else was this carpet, which I think I have some before pictures of only like 2 rooms, but still I can put that on the screen as well, as long as I still have them. But anyway, so all of the bedrooms now are a new carpet, which is a lot softer, has thicker padding, all of that stuff. And then the living areas, like the dining room, living room, and family room area, are now a laminate flooring, which looks like wood, and it is very nice and water resistant, all of that kind of stuff. So that was a big process because it's basically like moving, because all of our little knickknacks like books and things that were on top of the desk and things that were on top of my nightstand, like all of that had to be moved out of the way and put into boxes that we put in our garage or in the tiled areas of our house. And then everything else, the furniture stuff, the flooring company did move for us, but everything had to be off the counters, off of like little shelves that were going to be moved, things like that. Well, not really shelves, because shelves go on the wall, but specifically I'm meaning like the little areas under tables, if there's like a shelf, you know, all of that stuff had to be moved. So it was quite the process, and I'm telling you, everything had to be off the floor, specifically for the bedrooms, which obviously I'm filming this in my room, but also the office where I film majority of my videos and have a lot of yarn and craft supplies stored. And both of those rooms have carpet because that is considered a bedroom. And everything had to be off the floor because the way they put carpet in is they stretch it across one room. So it's not like they could move half of the furniture to one side of the room and put carpet in and then move to the other side. Like everything had to be out of the room at the same exact time. The laminate flooring was a little bit easier because, well, not easier, it's harder to put in, but like easier for us because they could put half of our stuff on one side of the room, do half of the flooring, and then move it to the other side and do half of the flooring. Anyway, I don't know why I'm rambling about this, you guys. The main thing that this video is about is my medical issues and what happened just yesterday as of filming this. But as you guys are seeing this, like I said, it might be a few days. I don't know when I'm gonna even get the time to edit, so we'll see. But so today's Wednesday, like I told y'all. Yesterday morning I woke up around 7. My mom got me up because we had plans with my grandpa to go to breakfast, and needed to be up at 7 because he was going to be here at 8 to meet us. And I was getting ready around 7:30. My grandpa actually got here early. He's always early, so he was here around 7:30. But we were still getting ready, but my mom answered the door for him, and she happened to go back to her room just to put on jewelry and finish up getting ready. and I was in my bathroom doing my makeup. My grandpa was in the dining room, which the dining room is at the very entrance of our house, and my bedroom is like the back right corner of the house. If you're like looking at it from the street, like my bedroom's like here and the front door is like here, so like probably as far from, almost as far from my room as you can get. And I don't even know, I feel like I'm all over the place explaining this, so I apologize. If y'all have any questions, I'll get back to you in the comments if you leave a comment, but I'm gonna do my best to explain it. And also, I don't want this video to be long, and I'm already rambling, so I apologize if it is really long. I'll do my best to edit some of the ramblings down, but I still want it to make sense. So anyways, okay, my grandpa gets here and I'm in my bathroom doing my makeup. I started to feel really funny, which I have experienced dizziness in the past, mainly like when I first wake up in the morning. If I try to get out of bed too quickly, I'll get lightheaded, dizzy, and have to sit back down. But that's pretty much the extent of it. I've never had any problems with actually fainting or passing out until yesterday. Obviously you know that. I'm pretty sure I'm titling the video I fainted or like putting that in the thumbnail or something. So never had any problems with it before, and like I said, only dizziness, being lightheaded sometimes, but again, it's only if I stand up too quickly or sit up too quickly, and normally I've learned not to do that. But yesterday was a whole different story. I was, like I said, standing in my bathroom trying to do my makeup. I started to feel really funny, not in the sense that I was like dizzy, but more so I was nauseous, and I hadn't ate anything or drank anything yet because I'd only been up for like 30 minutes, so I was getting ready and we were gonna go to breakfast. So I wasn't really thinking about eating or drinking, but when I started to feel funny, I decided, okay, I need to set my makeup down and I'm going to walk to the kitchen to get myself some water and something to drink because that's what I feel like I need. And on my way to the kitchen, like while walking, I fainted, passed out, whatever you want to call it. Throughout this video I'll probably say both, but unfortunately my face at least was on the carpet area, which we do have this new carpet and it's a lot softer than the old carpet, so I'm very grateful for that. I actually have a picture of what the area looks like that I showed my doctor. That's why I took the picture, because I wanted them to be able to see like what the area kind of looks like where I actually like hit myself and everything, which we'll get into. So my bathroom is attached to my bedroom, so you have to walk through my bedroom to get out, and then the kitchen is like right outside. So that's where I was headed, and I am assuming I turned too quickly and that's what caused it, but I again was already feeling weird beforehand. So I don't remember much past like turning to walk around my counter, and next thing I remember is it was like black still, so I don't know, like I'm not exactly sure if my eyes were still closed or if my face was just like in the ground, but either way it was still black. And I remember thinking, which I do have some marks, which I have makeup on right now, so I don't know if you'll actually be able to see it and the lighting's not that great, but anyway, I just remember thinking my nose hurts really bad. And then my next thought, which I'm laughing because my thought process is honestly really funny, but my next thought was, is this a dream? And then I'm like, you don't feel pain in dreams. And then I'm like, I need to call my mom. Luckily, my mom, like everybody was still home other than my dad. My dad was at work, but my grandpa even happened to be here. And I luckily, like very luckily, had my phone in my hand as I was going to walk towards the kitchen. So it was right next to me whenever I woke back up. So when I either lifted my head or opened my eyes, I'm not sure which one it was, because again, I like just woke up, so I don't really know. But either way, when it wasn't black anymore, that's when I realized my phone was right next to me, and I was like, I need to call my mom. So luckily my mom is saved as like one of the first people in my contacts, so I was able to do Face ID just like this, and then hit phone, and then hit favorites, and she was right there, and I called her. And like I said, she was in her room still getting ready, and I call her, and my exact words were, I passed out. For some reason I couldn't think of the words fainted, which would have made more sense in the situation to say, because originally my mom thought I meant like I fell back asleep, because she woke me up around 7 o'clock and it was like 7:30 at this point. So she thought that I meant I fell back asleep and like I wasn't ready yet. And she was like, oh, that's fine, like we don't have a specific time that we have to leave or anything, like me and Papa will wait, which Papa is what I call my grandpa, but just for like clarity's sake I say grandpa to other people. But anyway, that's what she said to me on the phone, and I was like, no mom, like I passed out, like I'm on the ground. And of course she's like, oh my god, whenever she realizes, and she's like, I'm coming. And luckily I had the thought to not try to stand up on my own, because I didn't know what was gonna happen. I never passed out before or anything, so I didn't want my legs to give out on me or anything like that. So I just stayed on the ground until she got to me, which was obviously like 5-10 seconds, like I'm sure she was running. And she helped me back up. I sat down on my bed right here, because it was literally like right there where it happened. And the most bizarre part to me was like, as soon as I got set up and was like taking deep breaths and got calmed down, I realized I was like sweating, which makes sense because it obviously like had me very scared. But I also just realized I feel way better, because right beforehand I felt so nauseous and so like bad, and it came on to me within maybe like 5 minutes, which was the scary part, because like it was so quick like that. Maybe not even 5 minutes, I don't know. I had been standing there doing my makeup. I was pretty much perfectly fine from the time I woke up to starting my makeup, and then once I started to feel bad, that's when I decided I was going to get a snack and a drink of water, and obviously didn't make it. So that's kind of the whole story of how the passing out fainting incident happened. And things that I realized afterward is, from talking to my grandpa and my mom and my sister, all of them that were in the house at the time, first off, I must have hit mostly my face, but my whole body in general, very hard on the ground. And I'll again put the picture on the screen. This little cart is actually a crochet cart, which is kind of funny because like crocheting is what I do for my job and everything. I'm sure you know that if you have come from my main channel and that's where you're watching from. So it's kind of funny that this is like a crochet yarn cart. But we are pretty sure, based off of what my mom said, because I obviously didn't really know where I was laying, but she's the one that picked me up off the ground, so she knew like where I was laying and everything. And this side of my face was very close to that crochet cart, so we're kind of thinking that the little curved end that like has the wheels, I might have hit like right here, because my bruising is the top of my nose right here, but mainly the right side, my right, but your left probably looking at me. I honestly don't know how the camera flips, but anyway, this is my right side. So right here, and kind of makes a curved shape to right here is where the majority of my bruising and pain in general is. Which, when I say bruising, I'm very lucky that it's actually not really bruising. It's more just redness that luckily I've been able to cover up with makeup. But yeah, it had to have been very loud because my grandpa heard it from the dining room where he was, which, like I said, is pretty far of a distance. I mean, in between is the living room and the kitchen to get to the dining room. The only thing I'm thinking is maybe when I hit that cart, because the cart is up against the wall, it might have hit the wall, and maybe that's what made such like a loud bang. But also my body, because mind you, this area, like you can see from the picture, is where the carpet transitions to tile in the bathroom, and like basically in the doorway is where I fainted. Pretty much only my face, or probably like my neck up, was actually in the carpeted area. The rest of my body was in my bathroom, like little hallway entrance, and then you turn around the corner and there's the countertop, the toilet, and the shower, all of that. But because I was walking, that's where I was. So the other like pain that I guess pain is the best way to describe it, I don't really know, but the other like things that are in pain on me is specifically my right shoulder, not my left shoulder at all. So I'm thinking maybe this was on the tile and this is on the carpet. I don't really know. Or maybe I just like landed on this side more than this side, which would make sense because this is the side of me that's, again, bruised and like red. So I honestly can't tell you how I landed because, again, I was unconscious. But I do have one scratch on my left thigh, the top of my left thigh. It's almost like a straight line, just a scratch. And then my hip bones, which I didn't really realize how sore my hip bones or my shoulder was until last night when I was trying to go to sleep. And I am a stomach sleeper most of the time, so I was laying on my stomach, and that's when I noticed that even on my like mattress, my hip bones and this shoulder hurt being laid on. So I was like, that's strange. So I actually got up and looked in my mirror and realized that my hip bones, like right on top of the bones, is bruised, as well as my shoulder I think is bruising a tiny bit, but I honestly can't tell, especially in the camera. I don't know if it's gonna show, but I think like right here is a little bit bruised, which again, it's kind of like the bone area that hurts because that's the area that hit the ground. And I'm assuming the tile. Definitely my hip bones were on the tile, so I know that's why that hurts. Which my hip bones have kind of always protruded, like right, I mean I'm pointing but y'all can't see, but they've kind of always stuck out, so I know that part probably hit the tile really hard, and the tile is obviously not soft. But at least my face was on the carpet, and we're honestly not sure if my face hit the carpet and like just the floor, or if it did hit that cart. Hitting the cart would make sense just because of the shape of this bruise, but that doesn't mean that I didn't just hit the ground. Even though it's plush, like soft carpet, just the impact could have also caused something like this. So really no way to know because I was not conscious, obviously. But that's kind of everything from when it happened. Immediately after, like I told y'all, my mom helped me get back up, set me down, calmed me down a little bit, and then I got dressed because I was actually in a nightgown still. So I'm glad it was just my mom that came in, because she had the thought to tell my grandpa, because my grandpa was really worried too. So she had the thought to tell him like, maybe don't come in because she might not be dressed yet, which was the case. I mean, I was wearing clothes, but just not like normal clothes. So I'm glad that he didn't walk in. I mean, I know he was also worried about me, and still has been, everybody has been, but I'm just glad that my mom had the thought to be like, you might want to stay out here just in case, before he like followed her in here. Once things got a little more settled, I got dressed, which my sister came in here, like nobody wanted to leave me alone afterward just in case, which I could not blame them, like very understandable, because like none of this has happened to me ever or anyone in my family. So of course we don't really know how to deal with it, but also we just want to make sure somebody's right there in case it does happen again. So my sister was with me the whole time while I was finishing up getting ready, like putting regular clothes on and taking off the makeup that I had already done, because I only had like my eyebrows and like 2 places done with concealer, so that looked very strange. So I actually just took like a rag with water and like wiped it off because I didn't want, you know, only half of my face to have makeup on it. But that again is kind of everything. I keep saying that's kind of everything, but then saying more, and I realize I'm forgetting stuff. So I'm sorry if this is all over the place. A lot has happened, but and like trying to tell the full story, I feel like I'm all over the place. I don't know. We'll just blame that on me hitting my head in general. Which, by the way, if I'm making jokes, I know it is a serious subject and it is scary, but I've already been to the doctor, which I'm gonna get to towards the end of this video, all of that kind of stuff, so I know I'm okay. And I just know that I need to be more careful, even just turning, let alone sitting up and everything. But anyways, we checked my blood pressure immediately afterward, because one of the main causes of fainting or passing out like that can be your blood pressure dropping or going really high, but I'm pretty sure it's more common for when your blood pressure drops. And at the time my blood pressure was really high, which makes sense though because it was right after it happened, so I was still probably very scared and nervous, you know. But we checked a couple more times throughout the day and it wasn't really giving us an accurate reading with the blood pressure monitor that my mom had, and it was kind of old anyway, so her and I made a trip to Walgreens, and we were actually going to use the blood pressure machine that they normally have in the pharmacy that you like stick your arm in and like press the buttons, whatever, and like it does it for you. But for some reason this Walgreens did not have one, which is like the only Walgreens I've ever seen that did not have one. And it's not like our local one because we were in the area to pick up dinner at the time, so we're just like, oh, we're gonna check this one and see, and they didn't have it. But since we were already there, we just decided to pick up a new blood pressure machine, which we have now, and I've been checking my blood pressure pretty regularly ever since. And so far my levels have been normal, except for at the doctor when they did the test thing, which I'll get into later when I talk about everything from the doctor. But yeah, I mean, I ate, I drank some water, checked my blood pressure, just sat for a while, chilled, and I honestly felt like, I'm not gonna say back to normal because of course I was like bruised and like sore in the areas I hit, but I didn't feel nauseous, I didn't feel dizzy, I didn't feel lightheaded, none of that. So we kind of continued on with our day, which might seem strange, but by the way, even before we left our house, my mom helped me message my doctor, because we do have an app that we're supposed to message our doctor through whenever something happens or you need an appointment, something like that. So we messaged them and it took a little while to get back with us, but not too long, to be honest with you. Which if it's an emergency, of course, that's not the way you're supposed to go. You're supposed to call 911. But since it was only the first time and I felt perfectly fine after, we didn't feel the need to really go to the hospital or call 911. So we just kind of waited it out for the doctor to get back to us to tell us what to do. Should we go to an emergency clinic? Should we go to an emergency room? Should I just make an appointment and come like the next day? Like whatever. And after we went through our day, I came back home around 12:30 or 1-ish. I took a nap because that night before I did only sleep for like 4 hours, which was another reason that we thought could have contributed to the passing out. So I slept for about an hour, and then my parents got me up again to check my blood pressure again, and it was still not reading normal at all. So that's when we went to Walgreens, got food, all of that kind of stuff a couple hours later. And that was kind of all of yesterday. In between all of that, actually right after I woke up from my nap, I got a call from one of the nurses at the doctor's office, and he told me to go check my blood pressure because I told him like our plan was actually to check my blood pressure right now, and then if it still isn't like in the normal range, we were gonna go to the emergency clinic. But if it was back in the normal range, now that we have this new, well, we actually didn't have the new machine yet at the time, but still, we're gonna check it, see if it was in normal range. If it was, then we were just gonna try to make an appointment for the next day, which is what ended up happening, because even with the one monitor that we thought may have not been correct because of how old it was, it still gave me a normal reading. So whenever we got the new one and reassured that it was still in a normal range, then that's when we decided like we didn't really need to go to the emergency clinic, and the nurse told me on the phone that there was an appointment available for the next day, which is today, the day I'm filming this. So I did have an appointment at 2:15 and I ended up getting checked out. So like a lot of things were in with the exam, just to rule out different things. So the first part was like testing my eyes to make sure like my pupils dilated and like acted correct whenever he shined the light in my eyes. Like the finger test to make sure that my eyes could follow his finger, test to make sure I could like push back on his hands and like up on his hands, and same with my legs. All of that kind of stuff that I was gonna say is routine, but it's not really routine, but for something like that happening is routine. And all of that was normal, perfectly fine. So the next things were an EKG, which is to look at your heart beat and rate and everything. And then after that was blood pressure testing, as well as a pregnancy test, which negative, which you guys know I'm on NuvaRing, and I honestly am planning on doing an updated video on that at some point. But negative pregnancy test, but they have to check just in case, because especially if they were going to give you a medication for something like blood pressure that could maybe affect a possible baby, they need to make sure that you're not pregnant, obviously, but also that can be a cause of like low iron or things like that, so they have to make sure. But negative on that. So they did the EKG on my heart, everything came out perfectly fine on that aspect, which I do actually have a piece of paper here showing it, which I guess I can kind of fold so that it doesn't show any of my information, and I can show y'all because all my information's at the top. So if I fold it like that, then y'all won't see any of my information. So I don't know if it's gonna show anything at all, but the doctor said this is normal. So this part is fine. I have nothing, at least according to this, nothing wrong with my heart. So that was at least good to know, and obviously something that needed to be crossed off the list. And well, actually they did the blood pressure test first, but I'm talking about that last because that was actually where we think the problem is. So the blood pressure test that they did in the office consisted of me first laying down and having my blood pressure checked. While I was laying down, it came back perfectly normal. So the next time I had it checked, they had me sit up. And the nurse waited probably 3 to 5 minutes between all of these tests. So after checking my blood pressure while I was laying down, I sat up, waited 3 to 5 minutes, checked my blood pressure again. And that time, from laying down to sitting up, I was very low on the bottom number, which, by the way, I should have said this in the beginning, but I am not a doctor. All of this stuff I either know from my mom, who did work at a pharmacy, but like many years ago, or from what the doctors have told me, or from looking things up. But honestly, I haven't looked too many things up in this situation because I don't want to scare myself even more. So most things I've heard from either the doctor today or from my mom in general, who also has blood pressure problems. So that's why we suspected blood pressure problems in general and why we were checking my blood pressure. But anyways, my mom actually has high blood pressure though, so it's weird that I'm having low blood pressure problems. But your blood pressure is 2 different numbers, one number on the top, one number on the bottom. I'm explaining this stuff like you guys are little kids. I just don't know like how much people know that are watching this. You know, somebody watching this could be a doctor, but somebody watching this could be like 10 years old and not know, you know what I mean? So I'm just trying to explain things to the best of my ability. But anyways, blood pressure, one number on top, one number on the bottom. The number on the top is going to fluctuate based on if you've had physical activity recently, you're super nervous, anxious, or you've had caffeine, just a couple examples, but that number is going to fluctuate. And your bottom number normally shouldn't fluctuate, especially by like drastic amounts. And 70 to 80, I believe, is the normal range. My bottom number from laying down, I believe, was 75. Sitting up, waiting like 3 to 5 minutes, checking again, my bottom number was 40. The machine was beeping and like flashing yellow. It sounded like what you would hear in an emergency room because it was that low. So that's why we believe that's where the problem is. But then the next test was for me to stand up, wait again, probably like 3 to 5 minutes. I don't know how long she was actually timing for, but she was like looking at the clock and timing. And then check again. And that number was back to normal. So once I went from sitting up like this to standing, and again, waited the time period in between and checked again, my number was again back to like 70 something or 80, I believe, on the bottom. And that's kind of what we know as of right now. That's all the stuff they did in office today. As of what else I have to do tomorrow morning, like 7:30 or something in the morning, I'm gonna go do blood work, which is going to tell them stuff about maybe an iron deficiency or thyroid problems. Those would be the other two things that they would look into. Or maybe there's more things with the blood, but at least that's what the doctor mentioned that they'll be looking into with getting my blood work. And I have an appointment in about a week and a half. It would normally be a week follow-up, but this time it's a week and a half because I'm actually going out of town, which is another aspect to all of this and why it's even a little more scary. But anyway, we're leaving on like Friday. Today's Wednesday, and that's another reason why I'm like filming this video, to tell you guys what's going on, because this whole week I planned on doing a lot of work to make sure videos and podcasts and content would be going out while I was gone on vacation, but none of that has happened because the past 2 days I have either been fainting and trying to take it really easy so I wouldn't faint again, or at doctor's offices, which I only went to 2, but still, 2 today, but one was actually for blood work that I was supposed to do beforehand, so I got that done this morning, which was just to test for hepatitis, which I don't think I'm like gonna have or been around anybody that has, but I don't know if it's just Florida or if it's everywhere in general, but apparently it's required now to be tested for hepatitis, so that's what that was for. But so like completely unrelated that I did blood work this morning. But now tomorrow morning I'm gonna have blood work again, which I believe they're probably gonna take a lot more from me because you can kind of see that my one vein here is blue. That's where they did the blood work, which I'm sorry if that bothers anybody. It kind of does bother me too, so I apologize. But tomorrow they're going to be, I assume, taking more blood work than they did today because it was only like one little tiny vial today, but I assume they're probably gonna need quite a bit of blood to test for a bunch of different things, not just hepatitis. But anyways, yes, all of that being said, most likely my problem is blood pressure, which I will tell you what the paperwork that I got says and my possible diagnosis. So this is just possible because, again, I haven't had the blood work or anything yet, but this is like the most likely thing and why my blood pressure would drop like that, all that kind of stuff. So it is called orthostatic hypertension, which I'm going to read you what it says it is, like directly off of this. Orthostatic hypertension is a quick drop in blood pressure. It means when you get up from sitting or laying down, you may feel faint, lightheaded, or dizzy. When a person sits up or stands up, the body changes the way it pumps blood. This can slow the flow of blood to the brain for a very short period, and that can make you feel lightheaded. It also says many medications can cause this problem, especially in older people. I'm 19. A lack of fluids, dehydration, in parentheses because that's what that is, or illnesses such as diabetes or heart disease can cause it. So that's basically what it says. And then there's a list of things you can do at home. Be safe with medications, call the doctor if you have any problems. If you feel dizzy or lightheaded, lie down or sit down for a few minutes, and then if you pass out anymore, call 911. So yeah, if it happens again, I have to go directly to the emergency room, which I don't anticipate it happening again, but also I didn't anticipate it happening the first time, so who really knows. But yeah, I mean, there's not much more I can tell you guys because, again, this is kind of an ongoing thing. I need to wait for the blood work, which I'm not going to really know results of until about a week and a half, whenever my appointment is. And again, we are going on a trip, which I know sounds weird that I'm going on a trip right after this happened, but not only was this planned beforehand for my parents specifically to go, and I was kind of going back and forth with the idea of me going. That's why I didn't start like working in advance beforehand on content, because I wasn't sure if I was going, and originally the plan was for me to stay, but now, especially since I've had these problems, the plan is for me to go on the trip with them, just so that there'll be someone with me the whole time. Because actually on this trip, it will be someone with me in the hotel room the whole time, or in the car, or wherever. Like, there'll be someone with me the whole time, one of my parents, because like in our house, like I'll be in my room, or they have to go to work or whatever, and like if I stayed here, my sister's staying here, but she has to go to work, so I would be home alone while she's at work, which is normally fine, but not fine when I have the possibility of fainting and maybe next time if I hit my head on something harder, not regaining consciousness. So it's a very scary situation. So that's why the decision is for me to go on the trip now, which I did want to do in the first place anyway, but I just wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get all my work done. But now that this is happening, I've just decided it's more important for me, which sounds weird, but it's more important for me to go on the trip. That way I'm actually around somebody 24/7 instead of being alone, basically. I hope that makes sense, because it sounds really weird to say. It's more important for me to go on the trip than like get my work done, because in most situations that does sound weird, but I hope it makes sense that like it's not me just being like I have to go on this trip. Like, it's gonna be fun, so of course I want to go on this trip, but also like wherever we're going, whatever hotel room we're in, like we're all gonna be in one room, so like there's gonna be someone with me constantly, even more than if I was staying home, or even if my parents stayed home and didn't go on their trip and I also stayed home, they would still have to go to work, you know. So it's not like someone could be with me 24/7 anyway here, but they could be if I went on the trip, basically. So I hope that, like I said a million times, I hope it kind of makes sense. I hope I'm not forgetting anything, and I hope everything I explained kind of makes sense to y'all. If you have any questions, or if you feel like I left anything out, let me know in the comments. I'll answer questions, or if I'm watching this back and I feel like I missed some stuff, maybe I'll make like a pinned comment or something. So maybe look in the comment section and just see, or if you have questions, maybe somebody else has already asked the question and I've already answered it. If that's the case, then maybe read through the comments. I don't think there'll be that many comments on this video. So you could probably read through them and see if somebody else already asked the question. Which is not a big deal if you do end up asking the same question as somebody else. Just saying, somebody else might have already asked the question. But especially if it's like something big I left out. Again, I'm pretty sure I'm fine. Like, no concussions or anything that the doctor said. So like I think I'm fine, but like me overthinking it, it does kind of feel like I'm not all there. Y'all, I've been filming for like an hour. Literally, I wanted this video to be like 15 minutes. It's gonna be like 45. Anyway, oh, and I meant to tell you guys when I was reading the what can cause it. Lack of fluids, I do not think is the case, because these Yeti cups are, I believe, 24 ounces, and typically I drink 4 to 5 of these a day, which is more than my daily recommended amount. Which, by the way, I've had kidney stones in the past, so that's why I am used to drinking so much water. And from going to urologists, which are specifically doctors for your kidneys, they say if you divide your body weight, so in pounds, because I know not every country uses pounds, but your body weight in pounds divided by 2 should give you how many ounces of water you're supposed to drink in a day, which for me is 68.5. So what, like 5 of those, or 4? 24 times 4. Yeah, even if I drink just 4 of these a day, that's 96 ounces. And I should drink probably only water, but I do drink teas and sodas sometimes, which I do limit myself on because, again, kidney stones, and that was what caused my kidney stones, was sweet tea and sodas pretty much. So I pretty much only have those when going out, or if I haven't left the house at all, maybe 1 in a day. But other than that, it's these Yeti cups that are 24 ounces, like 3, 4, 5 of them a day. So I really don't think I'm dehydrated. I guess I could be if there was maybe something like wrong and my body isn't holding in the fluids for long enough, but I really don't think that should be a problem. Illnesses such as diabetes, I guess that could be a problem because most of my family has diabetes, but that's all type 2, which I guess I could have type 2 as well, but I don't really think so. Or heart disease. Again, everything on my EKG was okay, so I don't think heart disease is really going to be a problem. So it could be medication, but I don't take anything other than medications that are over the counter. So meaning like you can just buy them off the shelf. You don't have to have a prescription. Other than my NuvaRing, which that's the only thing that I have switched recently. We did ask about that. The doctor didn't seem to think that could be anything, but it's always a possibility. But again, we're not going to know too much on the actual diagnosis anyway until my next appointment. But yeah, I feel like I've been talking in circles. I'm pretty sure I've been sitting here for almost an hour filming, so I'm gonna go. And thank you guys so much for watching this video, especially if you got all the way to the end of this video, because I know it has to be really long since I've been sitting here for so long filming. Like I was saying, if I forgot anything, make sure you comment it down below, because it might be a question that somebody else has as well. And yeah, as soon as I know results, I will do an updated video, probably like a part 2, telling you the final diagnosis, telling you if it is blood pressure, which I do think blood pressure is a part of it because of my blood pressure dropping like that, but it's could also be low iron or thyroid, something like that combined with it. Could, you know, could always happen as well. So anyways, you just gotta wait and do the blood work tomorrow, and then wait for them to get results and have my follow-up appointment. So updated video as soon as I have information to update on, as well as, like I mentioned, my NuvaRing, I'm probably going to be getting switched out because my side effects have been not good. I'm not going to really get into that in this video because that's another tangent, but I am going to do like a full video on that as well. for why I want to get off of it and probably go back to Nexplanon, because I know I did a full video switching from Nexplanon to NuvaRing. And my main reason for even talking about like that or this in videos is not only to update you guys, right, because I want this video specifically so you guys know why there's not as much content coming out, and also to share with you what's going on. Like, I'm fine. I'm especially going to be fine because I'm going to be surrounded by people all the time. My parents are going to be with me like 24/7. Yeah, but again, just updated NuvaRing video, hopefully getting that switched to something better, and updated video on this coming soon. I do also plan to film while we're on the trip. Like, there's a Joann with a yarn wall, you guys, in Ohio, which is where we're planning on going, but also it's a really far drive from Florida, and we are driving. So we also haven't like booked anything really, so if we find somewhere we'd rather stop on the way, we might just stop somewhere like in between. Really don't know, but either way, I do plan on vlogging a little bit probably for this vlog channel, as well as if we do make it all the way to Ohio where we're planning on, and I do get to go to that Joann with a yarn wall, I'm definitely going to film like a shop with me vlog. But yeah, I could pass out again tomorrow and the whole trip could be canceled. I don't know. Like, I really don't. Obviously can't predict the future. I really don't think that's going to happen, because again, I'm being a lot more careful than I was since this did happen and since I know what not to do. But yeah, that is actually all, because I've told you like 5 times that is it. And I really need to go so that this isn't like a million years for me to edit, but also so this isn't like a million years for you to watch. But yeah, I do just want to reassure everybody that I am okay. I have some bruises and some soreness, but other than that, like, I'm very lucky that I didn't fall on the tile. Well, I did fall on the tile, but my head was on the carpet, so I'm lucky with that. I'm lucky that it isn't a concussion. I'm lucky that I haven't had any memory issues or any brain issues in general, because I know that could happen, especially if I fell on some of the harder floor. Or if I hit my head on something. Like, the edge of my desk is right behind like that card thing, so if I took like one more step, I could have hit the edge of my head on like that pointed edge of my desk or something. So overall, I am very, very lucky that things turned out the way they did and things aren't worse, but it is just concerning because it's something that's never happened to me before. Nobody in my family has ever fainted, at least that I've been able to talk to. Of course, we don't really know if people that have passed away have had that problem, but both my parents, my sister, and my grandpa have never had fainting problems, and my other grandparents that have passed, but as far as we know, they never had any fainting problems. The only other thing that I feel like could be, again, genetic, like I told you, my mom does have high blood pressure, and my granny, which is my dad's mom, who I actually tend to take after and like look like the most, but also have the most like medical issues similar to her, is like, she also had blood pressure issues. I can't exactly remember if it was high or low, or maybe it was both, I don't know, but she did have blood pressure issues as well. So I feel like I did get kind of a double whammy and was kind of doomed to have stuff with my blood pressure, because I honestly, a lot of medical stuff I get from my mom. Like, I have a lot of skin issues, things like that, that are from her. And then I also have kidney stones and urinary problems, TMI, but whatever. Y'all know I freaking face planted, and y'all saw my whole birth control thing on this channel, so like, nothing's TMI at this point. But anyway, like, all of that kind of stuff is from my dad's side of the family. So which also urinary stuff is also from my mom's side. So again, kind of a double whammy with all of it, and I was kind of doomed to have all of these problems, I do believe. But again, it's not like it's their fault that they even have these problems. So, oh my goodness, y'all, I have talked for so long. I'm gonna actually go because now it's 10:30 and I think I started recording at like 9:30. So, oh my goodness, I'm going. And I will see y'all in the next video. Probably on the main channel will be the next video because I do have a couple of videos that are already done. I am planning on trying to go film a video or two right now as well. But again, no guarantees. I already put out a thing on my community tab saying like I don't know when videos are actually going to go up and everything. But yeah, that's actually it. So thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. If you enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up, which I don't know if you would enjoy or not because this is just me talking forever. But if you did enjoy, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if y'all want to see the update video on what my actual diagnosis is, and maybe if I faint again, I don't know. Hopefully not. Oh my god. Don't even like say that. Don't put that into the universe. But but also updates for like NuvaRing, or just hopefully vlogs from the vacation as well without fainting involved. But that's actually it. So thank you for watching and goodbye.